was watching, I'm like, man, how can you actually stop this dude? Like, there's no stopping him, bro. There's no stopping him. That's why he was such an efficient player, because he can get whatever he wants. I feel like this man arguably has the greatest prime of all time, bro. And the shit is amazing to see, man. It's really amazing to see. His game is so simple, but yet so effective. So effective. That's what makes him great, man. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Damo Little Sportsman, and we back again with another reaction video, man. And today we got Larry Bird back in the office, aka the man in green, aka the man with the plan. Bird is the word. MJ Kryptonite. We got him back in the office today, man. And today we got a good one for y'all. We got the truth about prime Larry Bird. This video been trending everywhere. I've been getting recommendations by reacting to these videos, to these Larry Bird videos, because I know y'all love them. Y'all can continue to rock with them every time I post them. So I'm going to continue to bring it y'all way. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, man. If you love sports, this is the place for you. Make sure y'all smash that like button, man. Hit that like button with that three-piece combo, man. That leg thigh and that biscuit for your boy Mike Tyson style, man. But without further ado, let's get right into this video, man. Yes, sir.
At the other forward, in his 7th year from Indiana State, at number 33, Larry Bird.
He was the toughest player I ever had to guard and I had to play against. And the reason for it, he's 6'10". Hit the three-point shot, he can post you up, and he can see over the top of you at 6'10", so he can always pick you apart with the pass. And he was a great rebounder as well, and putting the ball on the floor in the open floor.
A lot of young kids was going to be a great athlete. Well, that's your first mistake. A great athlete gonna give you a lot of oohs and ahs. Great basketball player gonna beat you every night. That's who Larry Bird was.
Give the basket to Willis. Bird, great up fake.
If they can keep up this tempo, Atlanta, Dominique is going to have a big night.
Dominique fell down. Right back at the Hawks. They go low to Bird. Gets the double team. Wants it.
If you were writing a book about basketball, the people just saw would merit a chapter or two. But ask any basketball expert, and they'll tell you that if you're rewriting the story of basketball, the author, Larry Bird.
When it comes to the career of one Larry Joe Bird, he's universally regarded as one of the best players of all time, most impactful, as well as influential. For guys like Bird, Magic, and Jordan, what they did in the 80s and 1990s cannot be underrated. Now, one thing that can be underrated is those guys' overall skill sets. And looking at Bird first and foremost, a lot of Bird's stats and numbers, yes, they are available, but the more advanced analytics, advanced numbers, simply didn't exist and they weren't tracked.
That's a damn shame.
Now, luckily for you guys out there, I'm a basketball psychopath who loves NBA history. So looking at Larry Bird, I did the past month, I watched the entire 86 playoff run, 18 total games, and tracked all of Bird's advanced stats, metrics, and data nobody's ever thought to uncover.
Well, we're waiting.
So when it comes to 86 Bird, this guy undoubtedly one of the best players of all time, and in my view, the best small forward peak we've ever seen. As Bird at this point was a 3-time MVP all consecutively, one of the best shooters in the game, passers, rebounders, as well as fourth quarter players. And looking at his postseason run, if that wasn't impressive enough, Bird's overall production went up come playoff time. As that year's playoffs, 25.9 points, 9.3 boards, 8.2 assists on impeccable shooting splits, along with 2.1.
And to further input on what he's saying, I'm not going to try to pause it too much because I know this video is long, but to put my input on what he's saying, that's what makes a great player to me. You can have the greatest record, the greatest regular season stats you want to. What you gonna do when the playoffs hit? When it's a 7-game series and that other team is literally know every play you gonna run. They know your tendencies. They know what y'all like to go to, what's y'all go-to player. They know they sending traps at you, blitz at you. You seeing different coverages every time you play them in the next game because they trying to figure out a way to stop you. What you gonna do then when that pressure up? When it's actually something on the line? Regular season, everybody just hooping. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just hooping. You're going to different cities every other day, or you're at home. You know what I'm saying? You're chilling. You playing this team one time. You might play them twice if you got a back-to-back. So it's really relaxed. You ain't got to focus on the team too damn much. You win, you go to the next team. It's on to the next team. If you lose, it's still on to the next team. You feel me? Unless you got a back-to-back. But yeah, but in the playoffs, it ain't none of that. It's 7-game series. Who gonna get the 4 first? Who gonna get the 4 wins first? And you got a team that's steady nitpicking at you, that's trying to nitpick your weakness. They're trying to throw every different coverage at you. So what you do when the playoffs hit? And that's what makes players great. When that playoff come and that pressure on the line, they don't pop. They become diamonds. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, let's get back to it though.
Steals. Larry Bird's raw stat numbers were highly impressive. As looking through NBA history, at 25 8-8 playoff runs, this run 86 was the first of its kind. And since that date, only 3 players since then have joined him in this elite company, that being Jokic, Doncic, and LeBron James.
Not bad.
Now where Bird really separates himself is in the efficiency category. As their high volume playoff runs at 54-90 splits, there's only 3 of them. Bird 86, Kawhi 2017, and Kevin Durant in 2019. Why Larry Bird's so unique and so special, he can stuff the stat sheet like Luka, Jokic, and LeBron, but maintain efficiency with guys like Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard, who are primarily scorers and not asked to pass the ball nearly as much.
But Peterson may have nightmares guarding Larry Bird.
What a pass to McHale.
He's going to go one-on-one. Oh, my goodness.
Trying to back in on Woolridge. Finds McHale cutting for 2 with a great pass by Larry Bird.
And they did in game 1.
Bird had the ball in good position.
Peterson, and then they forget about McHale. Let him roll easily into the hoop. When you get the ball in Bird's hands, anybody that has a half a step on his defender is going to get the ball.
And for guys like KD and Kawhi Leonard, they're regarded as great elite scorers who have phenomenal jump shots. Someone like Larry Bird, yes, we know he's a great jump shooter, we don't know just how great he was, of course, until now. And looking at 86 Bird, he was pretty phenomenal. In this playoff run, on jump shots, 48% at over 220 attempts. When you look at LeBron, KD, and Kawhi Leonard in postseasons, who took at least 200 jump shots, here's their overall numbers in comparison to Bird. LeBron in his playoff career, 8 separate times, took 200 plus jump shots. In those runs, not once close to 48%, and peaked out in the low 40s. Someone like Kawhi Leonard only 1 playoff run with 200 plus jumpers in 2019. That percentage, 43.8%, well below Bird. Now looking at Durant, 7 separate years of 200 plus jump shots. Out of those 7 seasons, only 1 of them was higher than Bird, as a majority of KD's seasons are in the high 30s, mid 40s.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
So Larry Bird right here compared to 16 different seasons from LeBron, KD, and Kawhi, only 1 of those seasons out of the bunch tops Bird from 86. And it being Durant, honestly isn't that shocking, as Durant the jump shooter is absolutely phenomenal and lights out. But in the same vein, Larry Bird was equally as good, if not better, most seasons.
To see the game to come to this point after 30-some years, and teams are taking 35, a lot of them over 30 three-pointers a game, some 50. I just never anticipated that. When I played, I never shot that many. I've always used it at the end of the game. If you're down 1 or if you're up 2, you make a three-pointer, demoralizes the team.
Celts up by 3. Parrish gets it back to Bird, who takes a three-pointer of his own. Gets it to Walton. Bird's three-pointer. Oh, he bangs in another one.
I tell you, I played with him. I coached him. He would be a great one.
Another home run. Here it is. A three-pointer from Bird.
Walks off the court.
In the 1980s for Larry Bird, taking threes, yes, it was acceptable, but it wasn't widely pushed as the primary weapon for offensive player. And for Bird, he wasn't just a three-point shooter, a long-range guy. Larry Bird's offensive game was at all 3 levels. Larry Bird in the mid-range, 56%. Catch and shoot shots, 48%. All post-ups, 64%. Fadeaways, 57%. And left-hand shots, 69%.
Right back at the Hawks. They go low to Bird. Gets the double team. Wants it.
already about Larry Bird is that you did not want him to put your ass in that post because he gonna give your ass buckets. He gonna drop your ass off. And you didn't want him to go left. If I'm mistaken, he's a right-handed player. He's a right-handed player, but you didn't want him to go left. You know what that stands for? Dangerous. He's better with his offhand than he is with his dominant hand. So he can get you from both ways. That is one of the most dangerous players to guard, which is why he's Larry Bird and he's who he is. That's why he was so dangerous. You can't stop nobody like that. How the hell he more dominant with the hand that he wasn't even born to use? But he more dominant with it. Let's make that shit make sense. Shit crazy, bro. Man, it's loco. Don't let him back your ass down and put you in that post, and don't let him go left. But even if you do that, he's still gonna get you because he can go right.
Gray on Bird. They isolate him one-on-one. Celtics like that situation. And a left-handed shot
against McRae. He knows McRae is going to come back to his right hand. And he shoots it lefty to confuse him a little bit.
Working against McRae now. Works his way in and gets the basket.
Bird fighting through McRae. Larry Bird attacking his right hand, forcing him to his left. He can shoot lefty, but he'd much prefer to shoot righty.
Oh, beautiful.
Larry Bird, the scorer and shooter, could do it in a variety of ways from a variety of spots on the court. And actually the go-to spot was in the mid-range, the in-between game. And look at those numbers, 76 of 135. Not just great volume, but also great efficiency. And looking at the rest of NBA history, since 97 the tracking data began, 125 players in this time period took 100 more mid-range jump shots in a single postseason run. Out of those 125, only 7 of them are above 50% shooting. And looking at the top 5, it's definitely pretty telling. 5th place, Durant 2012. 4th place, Durant 2018. 3rd place, Durant 2021. 2nd, Larry Joe Bird. And 1st place, Steve Nash 2005.
Most impressive.
So once again, Larry Bird the shooter in some pretty great company. In the small forward position, a notch better than Kevin Durant at his absolute best. Now, staying with Bird's shot making, looking at catch and shoot jumpers, Bird in this playoff run was 48 of 100, exactly 48%. Tracking data for catch and shoot shots goes back to 2014. During that very selective time period, 41 players have taken at least 100 catch and shoot jump shots in that run. Out of that list, Bird ranks 4th all time at that 48%. The guys ahead of him, Al Horford, Klay Thompson, and Jokic.
Julian cheated way in.
Jokic going to throw it up from
Nikola Jokic. I would love to play against him.
Now, the last big part of Larry Bird's game was post-up plays, back-to-the-basket plays. In his playoff run, total of 52 attempts with 33 makes. If you look through all of NBA history since 2014, 74 players all time have taken at least 25 post shots in a single playoff run. Out of that list, Larry Bird comes in 5th place with the highest percentage, only behind Siakam, Embiid, Tim Duncan, and then John Collins. So that right there for Larry Bird in 3 different areas is the upper echelon of his peers in recorded NBA history. That again in mid-range shooting, catch and shoot jump shots, and post-up jumpers.
Reed starts out on Larry Bird, and his fall away is
Bird with 4, 3, 2. Got it, and a foul.
Harris tries to go along the baseline, kicks it back to Bird. Bird fires, Bird hits!
I think he's almost created a different basketball type. He's a power forward and he's a quick forward, and he shoots like a guard. He's a creative guy.
Pointer no, Walton the rebound. Bird looking for his first basket. That's it.
When you depend on your superstar to get you 30 a game all season long, and all of a sudden, Bird.
And he's matched up against Rollins.
Bird.
He was special.
Larry Bird, the individual scorer and shooter, most versatile player in league history, who was at the top of the class in nearly every single category. And ask yourself the question, how do you guard prime Larry Bird?
No idea.
Put a small, quick defender on him like Mitchell Wiggins. What does he do? He bullies them, gets around them, an easy layup. Put a bigger defender on them, then it's finesse game, pump fakes, get you out of your shoes, easy layup, easy jump shots. Then the final fail-safe, the athletic defender has speed, quickness, all the intangible tools on paper. Even guys like that, Dominic, Terry Cummings, Orlando Woolridge, them guarding Larry Bird, they're absolutely helpless.
3 minutes played in the game. Give the basket to Willis. Bird, great up fake.
If they can keep up this tempo, Atlanta, Dominique is going to have a big night.
Dominique fell down.
Takes it. Got it.
Doesn't score a point.
Bird working on Wilkins.
Oh, that was a yes. Helping create this win.
Bird. 36 for Larry Bird.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
So that right there, Larry Bird torching players who are faster, stronger, more athletic, the better players on paper looking at physical metrics. And again, Larry Bird, the scorer, where's his weak point on the court? He can shoot threes mid-range, he can post up, he can catch and shoot, and he has to shoot free throws, is at 93% on the season.
Perfection.
Larry Bird being so flawless offensively, really having no weak points, made him a big-time threat in the fourth quarters, and the best clutch-time players the game's ever seen. And looking at 86 Bird, in the fourth quarters and clutch time, was pretty mind-boggling. In this run, 6.5 points per game, 2.1 dimes, 56% shooting, 64% from 3, and from the line, 85%. Those shooting split numbers right there are completely absurd and they are video game-esque numbers. But again, to compare to all of NBA history, it becomes even more impressive. As looking at recorded history, since '97, there's 48 playoff runs where a player averaged 6.5 points per game in the fourth quarter or more. Out of those 48 runs, only 15 of the players shot above 50%. And Larry Bird, he was in the top 3. The only guys ahead of him, Ant Edwards last season and Giannis in 2021.
My teammates knew at the end of the game, if it's close, I was going to take the shots. They knew that.
Rockets have not crumbled. They've hung in there with Hakeem on the bench. Bird going up. And a tie score. 12 ties and 16 lead changes tonight. Walton, who's been there before. Bird for 3 hits. And
it's at the end of the game. And these dumb ass people gonna leave Larry Bird open at the 3-point line. Did y'all just see that shit? It's closing minutes. Boy, y'all better have somebody trying to damn near bear hug that damn man. Is y'all out y'all damn mind? My main focus, if I was the coach, I don't give a damn who else shoot it. Don't let Larry shoot it. If we gotta double team him, trap him, shit, if we gotta foul him, do what you gotta do. But do not let him shoot that damn ball in the closing minutes of the game. In my opinion, he's the most clutchest player to ever live. Him and Jordan, 1A, 1B, whichever way you want to put it. Clutchest players to ever live. When it came down to important games and winning the game. And you gonna leave him wide open? Did y'all just see how open he was? Boy, if I was the coach, I would have been throwing my damn clipboard on the damn ground, ready to smack everybody in their bald ass head, because who the hell left him open? He's the main attraction. Crazy work, man. Crazy work. That is not the man you leave open at all.
the Celtics lead by 3, and who else but Larry Bird.
Yeah, they kept coming back, and Bird hit the big three-pointer at the end to sort of give us the cushion we needed.
Larry Bird right there in the fourth quarters by the raw numbers, one of the best players of all time, if not the single best peak for player in all of league history. But here's the added detail, those 2.1 dimes. At first glance, that might not seem like much, but looking at fourth quarter plays, that number is absurdly high. I mean, look at this list. John Stockton, Rondo, Kidd, LeBron, Luka, some of the best point guards, point forwards in league history. So Bird for fourth quarter scoring and fourth quarter passing is absolutely elite, the cream of the crop. But here's the one big detail. Unlike a lot of point forwards, many Luka and LeBron James, what does Larry Bird not do? Handle the ball 24/7 and be extremely ball dominant.
Pushing from the rear. Walton gets it off. You know, the Celtics have been around this score. Great by Johnson.
For Boston. Bird, easy layup. Celtics with a very impressive third period here in game 2. Bird, what a pass from Dennis Johnson.
I think he's thinking too much. And normally he would just catch that basketball and just dunk it or go in for the easy shot.
The game of basketball is pretty simple if the ball's moving.
Sure.
Now, the point guard can do whatever he wants to do. Instead of dribble from one side to the other, back and forth. But he's an initiator. And if he gets that ball moving, that ball's moving, everybody feels a part of it. It doesn't matter where it ends up because it's always going up to the best player. You know? Sometimes that always happens.
Yeah.
But
Ball has energy.
That's right. And you get that ball moving, and good things happen all the time. It's a pretty simple if you play it the right way.
Perfect until now. Celtics running. They have a chance here. 4 on 2. Bird to Parrish.
It's more effective offensively. It's a bad shot by Moncrief.
Not that way. Boston 2 on 1, and Webb is back.
Bird is on Lloyd now, doubling on Sampson and takes the ball away. 3 on 1 for the Boston.
Up ahead, Bird finds McHale.
When you have a selfless superstar like a Steph Curry or Larry Bird, they don't need the basketball, the team's overall ability, their heights, get raised exponentially. And looking at Boston and Larry Bird's teammates, whether it be a Johnson, McHale, Parrish, heck, even a Bill Walton, those guys with Bird in his system were definitely maximized at their full absolute potential. Now, looking at Larry Bird's off-ball stats, his dribbling stats, these are pretty staggering and shocking. As looking at Bird's field goals made, a total of 171. Out of those field goals, 86 of them came with 0 dribbles. That's over half. 41 of those field goals, only with 1 dribble, 19 of them with 2, 23 with 3 to 6, and 7+ dribbles, only 2 made field goals.
Boston Garden crowd. Larry Bird trying to get the Celtics on track. Bird over Banks.
Bird, Walton, Ainge, and McHale. 5 men on the floor for KC. Great pass by Walton.
Larry Bird got into dueling passes, and the rest thought it'd be fun. They came along with it.
4:20 to go here now in the third. Bird. Yes, sir.
For a young player to come in and get in the finals, doesn't understand the pressure.
When discussing the best point forwards in NBA history, of course you have guys like Luka, LeBron James, and then a Larry Bird. But the way guys like Luka and LeBron played was much more their show, their story, their hand on the joystick. For Larry Bird, a much more unselfish player who allowed teammates to thrive and do their own thing. Now, with that being said, Larry Bird, the point forward, the passing forward, in my view, the best of all time.
Away from the Rockets.
Level hits a 3-pointer from the corner. And Ainge, releasing the other way, gets 2 of them back.
So the Rockets still tentative, and there's a long pass to McHale.
Parrish, Ainge's 3-pointer. Tapped by Bird to McHale.
Oh, what a play. Respect of all the teams. Their offensive rebounding, and Bird does it better than anybody, keeping it alive. Nice little tip down to McHale.
A couple of games and staying in the games. They haven't turned the ball over, but we haven't pressured their guards. They're vulnerable, especially when
forward and center in college.
Danny Ainge on the other way.
To the basket.
Bird just hit him with a screen, then gets it back to McHale.
Only 20 points in the second period. Is Larry Bird. Good pass back to Kevin McHale.
Wilkins outside with Bird. Bounces back to McHale.
DeMar.
Wilkins has got Bird. McHale's left alone.
none of them can shoot that well from outside where they should be going there.
Nice. Power forwards. Bird looking for the open man, finds him again.
Bird off a fake and a run back to Parrish.
Bird gets
Bird finds Parrish. Bird finds Parrish.
Much like Bird's scoring ability, his passing ability, he can slice and dice from any.
And another thing I want to put my input on, man, This is another thing where I feel like it was really hard for coaches to game plan against Larry Bird. Hear me out. As a coach, the thing you want to do to stop any superstar is make the superstar have to work for every shot that he takes, and also limit his possessions, which means try to take him out of as many places as you can, etc. Of sending like traps, you know what I'm saying, denying, heavy denial, face guarding, things of that nature. But the thing about Larry is, it's hard to trap him. It's hard to send double teams all the time because he wasn't ball dominant. A player that's ball dominant, we can use the examples that he brought up, or Luka or LeBron. They're still great, but it's easier to get the ball out their hands. It's easier to limit their shots because they're not amazing off-ball players. When you have an amazing off-ball player like Larry that doesn't have the ball, so you can't just send a trap as soon as he passes half court, your best bet is trying to deny him. And he's running around screens, so that's not going to work either. You're going to eventually get tired. Energy's going to start losing. You're not going to be able to keep running the whole game, denying every time. That's when stamina comes into a factor. That's going to start kicking in. So he's going to get the ball. But the thing about it, where you can't game plan, you're like, okay, once you get the ball, just trap him. He's such an intelligent and amazing passer to where you damn near don't want to trap him. You don't want to double team him. Because when you double team him, out of all these highlights I've been watching, as I said, I was kind of quiet for a little minute because I was really studying. I was really watching, trying to see what was going on. What I've seen was every time they sent a double team, he made them pay. And it wasn't for like no 3-point kick out. It was always for an easy dunk or layup. Every single time. Because you're doubling him from the post. And when you're doubling him from the post, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to send no guard. You can, but by that time it's too late because it's Larry. He gets to shoot right over him. So you're going to want to send someone to double him that's close to him. And when he's in the post up, 9 times out of 10, he's on the block. So the closest player to come double team him is the center. That's an easy dump off for a layup every time. So that's why it's hard to, that's why I feel like a lot of coaches have problems game planning for Larry. Because when you have such an off-ball dominance, when you don't need the ball to be dominant, that is a very scary player. And they're damn near impossible to guard. Damn near impossible. Especially Larry, because he was an amazing passer. That's why teams had it's like, what can you do? You don't want to double him, but if you don't double him, you can't guard him. So what you gonna do? You can't do nothing. And he's super efficient. He doesn't miss. So you can't just bank on him shooting. You gotta do something, but what can you do? Y'all let me know in the comments, man. That's why Larry Bird is special, bro. And that's why I was really analyzing. I'm sorry if I'm talking for a little minute, but that's what was going on in my head while I was watching. I'm like, man, how can you actually stop this dude? Like, there's no stopping him, bro. There's no stopping him. That's why he was such an efficient player, because he can get whatever he wants. I feel like this man arguably has the greatest prime of all time, bro. And the shit is amazing to see, man. It's really amazing to see. His game is so simple, but yet so effective. So effective. That's what makes him great, man. Extremely underrated. Put some respect on Larry Bird's name.
Anyone on the court with a variety of passes. And for guys like Dennis Johnson, Walton, McHale, I mean, he had insane chemistry with those guys, threading the needle, throwing lobs, and full court dimes on the money.
Well, is he good, Kramer? Oh, he's the best.
Now, for modern day fans looking at Larry Bird's passing, what they go to immediately is the stat sheet. For Bird's career, only 6 dimes per game, which in today's era is a mildly impressive number, but nothing staggering that jumps out as super impressive. And this right is a clear-cut example of stats being misleading. As looking at the modern era of basketball, the way assists are counted is completely fraudulent and wrong compared to the 1980s.
High up, and Bilal right now knocking down his first 3.
Lead is 6 for Washington. Cam Johnson.
Familiar, right?
Yep.
Last game, 40 assists on 44 made field goals.
You're smart. Beautiful vet.
Over 19.
He had 17 points back on February the 5th against the Wizards. He was 3 of 9 from 3. Middleton got his hands on it and gets the steal. Bilal hustling back. get the basketball for the Nets. Here's Claxton trailing. Now trying to work on home. Keyshawn driving the baseline. Muscling his way inside.
That's terrible.
So stopping that right there, every single one of those plays, an assist was counted and given on the stat sheet as a legit assist. A guy makes 2 or 3 moves after catching the ball, that's an assist. For someone like Bird in the mid-80s, specifically 86, only averaging 6-7 dimes per game, what does that do to? Not Bird being an inferior passer, but the scorekeepers being much more strict and stringent on what's an actual assist. For an example of this, look at Game 1 versus the Hawks in the second round. Bird on record officially only had 6 dimes, but he watched the game, very clearly had 8.
Loose Ames, bounce pass, beautiful to Bird in the middle. Here's DJ. The illegal defense. McHale.
Spot, you're going to get the ball. Not only get it, but you'll get it in a perfect situation to score. Just like that. I think he's thinking too much. And normally he would just catch that basketball and just dunk it or go in for the easy shot.
Parrish. Wilkins outside with Bird. Bounces back to McHale.
He and Moses Malone just seem to get all loose balls.
McHale scores coming inside. Bird. Still another rebound. Johnson breaks free.
There's the Boston break in the air with the.
I rest my case.
So that right there is clear-cut proof the old saying, numbers never lie, is indeed a pretty big falsehood. As looking at Bird right there, very clearly 8 dimes, what we got credit for was only 6. And you might say looking at that, well, what's the big deal, only 2 assists, they missed a measly 2. Well, not the case, and it is a big deal. Looking at the entire 18-game playoff run Larry Bird, his official assist count was 8.2. But if you add in the non-credited assists what it jumps to, is 9.8. And again, why is that important? In today's era looking at stats and numbers, a 1.6 jump is a monumental deal for all your advanced metrics, which fans nowadays are absolutely in love with. And looking at that year's NBA Finals versus the Rockets, Larry Bird's official assist count was 9.5. Still very, very impressive. If you add in the assists that weren't counted what it jumps to, is 11.5. Meaning the official record books, Larry Bird's assist count ranks second all time among Finals MVPs, only behind Magic and just ahead of Jordan in 1991.
What are you doing, George? I'm writing this down. This is good stuff.
So that right there for 86 Bird, a pretty good breakdown of his offensive game, shooting, and a little nuance that made Larry Bird the great player he was. But the one knock on Bird everyone always says is, on defense, he was subpar, and athletically, really couldn't cut it. And when someone says that, what they're really telling you is you haven't watched Larry Bird peak Larry Bird. As saying this guy was slow, couldn't jump, is just false watching the film. As looking at this year's playoffs, the guys Bird guarded were one Sidney Moncrief, an elite point guard, someone like Kevin Willis, a 7-footer, Randy Brewer, who's 7'4", and then on certain switches, would guard guys like Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon and really hold his own pretty well.
Field gives the Celtics that 4-point lead again. Olajuwon fighting for the loose ball, and he lost it.
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't understand why people say Larry Bird wasn't a great defender. For one, he was. For two, you have to take in the fact that, okay, he probably wasn't the greatest defender or one of the greats, you know what I'm saying, at defending, but he wasn't just a terrible defender, bro. He can hold his own for sure. But the other thing I was going to say that you have to take into account is look at how many injuries this man had to go through. Like, really take that into account. Like, are we just going to ignore the fact that he had to go through injury to where he had to literally lay on the sideline? He couldn't even sit in the chair because it hurt his back too much. And he's still out there giving your ass 30, by the way. People don't take into account things like that matter. A lot of these superstars don't go through injuries like that, career-ending injuries. They don't go through that. That's why they're able to last so long. Larry Bird is out there going through that, but still putting up these types of numbers. That's why my respect for him is at such a high level. But back on the topic, you have to take in that into account as to why he may not have been so agile, so mobile, so athletic, ability to jump. Look how many injuries he had to go through. Hard-nosed, tough. That's the type of mentality that he had, bro. That's why I respect him so much. Throughout all of injuries, he dealt with them injuries. I heard that he never took a pain pill medicine in his life. Now, I don't know about in his life, but during the NBA, he's never took a pain medicine. So anything he was going through, he was actually feeling that pain. He didn't have no medication that people be taking to numb the pain momentarily so you can get through what you got to get through. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's a smart way to go about it. But it just takes a different type of dog. It takes a different type of mentality, bro, to be dealing with some pain naturally and still going out there and hooping. Still giving these boys 30, 25, 10, 13 on 50, 40, 90 splits. Come on, man. That shit is unheard of. Can't just sweep that no shit like that under the radar, man. That shit is unheard of, bro. That is insane. For real.
Thanks to Larry Bird. 3-1-21 Chicago in overtime. Jordan. And Bird got a hand.
Here he comes. Bird cuts off Jordan at the baseline. They turned him loose, pushed him underneath the basket. The ball, a pass out, hit the net.
Whitman and Webb in the backcourt. Inside Livingston. Throws it away.
He isn't blessed with a great deal of jumping ability, but he's blessed with knowing where to put his body. He puts his body on the right part of the floor to defend. He has great anticipation.
Jordan up the floor for Chicago. They trail by 10. 2 remaining in the quarter.
McRae has McHale in his face. Bird against Olajuwon. Great play by Bird.
Sampson guarded by Bird, but Bird doing a good job against him. Traveling called against Rowell.
Very aggressive defense.
Brewer was trying to post up Bird down low. He still is. Bird out on Cummings.
It forces the offensive players to move without the ball.
The Celtics are playing scintillating ball. Go to work as the center. McRae gets knocked away.
So look, when it comes to Larry Bird, the defender, was he Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, just locking guys down 94 feet? No, of course not. But Larry Bird, the defender, wasn't a negative on that end, and his overall team defense was a big-time plus. I was watching a ton of those clips. The way he gets in passing lanes, double teams, his help defense is top-tier, A-plus defense. If someone says Bird couldn't play defense, didn't play defense, what they're based on most likely is how he looks. If you know Larry Bird, that's the worst mistake you possibly make. As offensively, people did the exact same thing. And what happened over and over and over again? This quote-unquote slow, unathletic guy cooked them time and time again. On defense, kind of the exact same story.
They have a 4-on-2 opportunity. Lloyd to Sampson. And no basket.
And to go to the half. Bird, the quick hand.
Both of them have bounced around the rim and just haven't. Bird the steal on Davis. Great defensive anticipation by Bird.
Lister's got Ainge in a switch down low. And Bird saw the pass coming to Cummings.
He's on the weak side. He's looking, steps out, knows that it's going cross court, just steps right back in. That's what you talk about, the computer mind of Larry Bird.
Bird again to reach in.
On Craven. This is why Larry Bird's a great defensive ball player, because of his weak side and his team defensive play.
We don't know whether Walton will play in this game. Bird knocks it away. 6 on the shot clock. Hastings, good pass to contact, and a great block inside.
Whitman. No changes for the Celtics. Dominique. Blocked by Bird.
If you watch 86 Bird, the defender, there's no way he's a subpar defender, even average defender. And look at the numbers, they back it up even more so. 86 Bird, the regular season, first in defensive win shares. I repeat, first out of the entire NBA. Defensive plus minus, 9. Steals, 8, and finished 11th in all defensive team voting, 1 vote shy of making second team. Now look at the postseason, nearly identical. Defensive win shares, 2nd. Defensive plus minus, 3rd. And for steals, he ranked 6th.
Watched by McHale. Bird coming over to double a lot. So they're in the scoring drought with 4 minutes and 46 to go. Akeem Olajuwon double, throws it right into the hands of Bird. There's a 4-on-1 break for the Celtics, and Ainge. Bird steals from McCray. Double with McHale. Peterson goes up. Wiggins there. Rockets.
We're in sudden death playoff at the Kemper Open. We'll update.
Some great defense by Larry Bird. You know, he's forcing them to shoot from outside, getting in front of Olajuwon.
Akeem knocked away by Bird.
The inbound pass till much too late, and here's Bird comes over at the last instant and knocks it away.
Time on the shot clock. Olajuwon with Bird doubling.
The third, as they did in the first half, and another Rocket turnover.
And Ainge was practically taken off, but here's Bird hustling. I'll tell you, inspiration, there it is. When he goes down on the floor, the rest of them will fly through the building.
So that right there is the end of the video, and I'll say one last thing. When looking at the best small forwards and the best players in today's game, all these guys in one degree or another have a big-time flaw in their arsenal. For LeBron at his peak, he was an athletic demon who could dunk on anyone. What was his big-time flaw? Free throw shooting and his outside jumper. Someone like Kevin Durant at his peak, one of the best scorers of all time. But what were his 2 weak points? Leadership, passing, and rebounding. Then Kawhi Leonard. This guy's a two-way player, was phenomenal. But what's the one trait he lacked severely? Passing and playmaking, and being an upper echelon leader like a Larry Bird. My overall point is pretty simple. Larry Bird in his day in '86 was a 5-tool player who could do it all. He could score, pass, rebound, play defense, he could lead a team, play off ball, shoot the mid-range 3 to free throw, and hit a game winner if need be. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.
Man, that was an amazing video, man. Y'all already know how I feel about Larry Bird. Definitely one of my favorite legends to ever play the game. Highly underrated, highly unguardable. The man in green himself. But yeah, man, it's your boy Damo Little Sports, man. Make sure y'all like the video if y'all watched it to the end. And I'll catch y'all in the next one, man. Peace.